it again. Do it again.
Go from there. And I'm just recording with just a Vaser this time, so we don't have to worry about having to sync everything up.
Oh, so we're not syncing up?
No. Besides, I mean, that's just that is just kind of stupid. I mean, especially if I'm like trying like I think I get, and it is true. I mean, I do get better audio quality when I record myself. With just my one single audio recorder, but it's such a bit of a pain, to do the whole sync. And then in editing, to try to sync it all up, because of the idea, like, oh well, I don't want our conversations to be thrown off, or interrupted or anything like that. So, I mean, I do wish I could get some better quality, but that would probably cost a lot more money, and I would probably have to learn how to edit audio, to add effects and such like that, to beef it up, and cut out background noise and such things like that. So, but I don't know how to do any of that. I imagine I think there's an audio editor out there called Audacity that you can use to edit audio, and I did have that for a little while, but I had no freaking idea how to use it. The only thing I did learn from that was how to slow down and speed up audio, which was pretty damn amusing. To a point where we sounded a lot like this, and we sounded like we were big, fat, stupid trolls, and it was really amusing. And the whole time I was saying, I was like, man, I'd love to take an audio clip of that and upload it to something, especially if we had an animator who could, animate us as trolls and talking. That would be funny. But I don't have that kind of money or that kind of time. And on top of that, I don't think anybody would give a shit about it.
Nope.
Like, oh, hey, look at these two jackasses. Downvote. Because people suck. That's all there is to it. People suck.
Yes, I do.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Other People Podcast. I am your host, Jordan. With me, as always, is my good friend, Andrew.
Hello.
We do have a few things that we're going to talk about today, but there is something that I have to bring up. I realize this is kind of old news, and everybody else has probably already talked about this. But this was something that really came as quite a shock to me when I first heard it, was that Robin Williams, the great comedian, performer, actor, killed himself quite a few days ago. And when I first heard about this, I heard about it just from gossip conversations while I was at work. And it was, it kind of hits you like one of those things just like right out of nowhere. Wait, what?
What?
I mean, are you serious? I mean, that actually happened? Like, yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of me and Mother's reaction when we started seeing, like, in loving remembrance things on TV. I was like, wait, did he, like, die? What the?
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't just that he died. It was also the fact that apparently he killed himself.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the extra, horrifyingly shocking thing. Like,
yeah, that's just kind of...
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well,
like David Carradine, that one I kind of saw coming.
Really?
A little bit. He was... There at the end, he was kind of starting to look like he was a little bit depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little strung out,
Yeah.
So I kind of saw that one coming, but Robin Williams, that one I didn't see coming.
Well, there have been a lot of people, and there were a few people even at my work who were saying, like, well, usually for some people who are entertainers or comedians, people who feel the need to constantly be funny, to be entertaining, there's always more than likely a layer underneath where they're probably hiding a lot of personal problems and a lot of personal demons. Uh,
Oh yeah.
um, and and it was always the fact that he was a former alcoholic. I mean, hell, I mean, he brought it up a lot during his acts,
Yeah.
a lot. And I understand a couple of years ago, I guess he did relapse. Um, I don't know if that happened again recently. I mean, I do imagine, I mean, if you are an alcoholic or anybody who's really gone through any form of recovery, drug or alcohol or whatever, that there's always going to be a huge amount of depression involved.
Yeah, well, there's like in the case of my uncle, he can't drink alcohol. He is an alcoholic. He can't drink alcohol. If he even takes just a tiny little sip of even something like beer or wine, he won't stop.
Yeah.
He won't stop. So he just cannot have a drink at all.
Yeah.
He has no ability to stop himself.
Yeah. I looked into a few details on his death. I'm not going to talk about it here. But yeah, some of the details were pretty graphic. I mean, I understand that he had hung himself, but sort of the details on it are well, I'm not going to talk about it here. But what I thought I would do here was do a brief remembrance of him. Obviously, the biggest performance that I remember from him as a child was the film Aladdin with him as the genie.
Yeah.
And which, as I understand it, originally when he was originally paid for it, this was the reason why he wasn't in the sequel, was that it was originally offered to him as such a small role, and he was allowed to just do whatever he wanted. And then when they marketed the film, they marketed it with the idea of, see Robin Williams as the genie, and and he's this big character, and he's out there, and da da da. But they still only paid him for the very small role, and so he was obviously still a little pissed about that. And so
I can kind of understand that.
Yeah, yeah. And so when they did the sequel, he wasn't in it. He was in the third. I never saw the third, mostly because I really did not like the sequel that much.
Yeah, they really should have just stuck with just the first one.
Yeah, but sadly, that's not the way Hollywood ever really works. Or
and that's not necessarily Hollywood so much as it is Disney.
Yeah, well,
at least Disney back then, because that was, I think, during the time period when Walt's children and grandchildren, his relatives, weren't in charge of the company.
Yeah.
It was Disney Incorporated, not just Disney.
Yeah. Well, and because I remember about the late 90s was when Disney was just churning out nothing but movie sequels.
Yeah, it was constantly. Basically they were turning out schlock.
Yeah. But in terms of performances, the first live stand-up of his that I ever watched was Robin Williams live at the Met, which I don't remember if I did show you that one. I know I showed you the Live on Broadway one.
I'm not sure if I saw that one.
Yeah, well...
probably if I saw 5 minutes again, I'd be like, oh, okay, now I remember it.
Yeah.
Right now I'm not sure if I've seen that one.
Yeah. Well, either way, they were both, great. The only big difference was that the one with the Live on Broadway, that one they recorded and they actually streamed out live for various big cities and such. And that was why it was such a big deal. Like, for instance, the whole, him dropping the water scene was something that actually happened. It wasn't rehearsed or anything like that. And
yeah, it was just kind of like, whoops.
And, and it was just absolutely brilliant, and it was funny, and Yeah, and it was great. And I still have that on DVD. I wish I had the Live at the Met on DVD, though.
Yeah.
That one was especially great. What was probably one of your favorite films of his? I mean, I know he's had a lot, but what was one in particular for you?
I would have to. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to really sit there and think about that.
All right.
Because he's done a lot, and I've even seen that one to where he was basically dead, and he was trying, and then his wife committed suicide.
Oh,
he was trying to save her soul.
What Dreams May Come?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was
where it like basically started off in like a trippy paint-like theme.
Yeah. Because he was in heaven and then he descends into hell to try to save her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was.
She committed suicide. That was kind of one of those to where he was trying something not comedic.
Yeah. He was trying to do something like very dramatic. I mean, he can do dramatic.
Yeah, he can do dramatic things because didn't he get like a Oscar for Good Morning Vietnam and. No, he didn't get an Oscar for that, but he did for
Good Will Hunting.
That one that had Ben Affleck and Matt Damon in it.
Yeah, Good Will Hunting. He had an Academy Award for Best Actor. I don't know if he won. No. He did win.
Nominated. I don't know if he. I'm not sure if he did win that one either, but.
I think he did win it. There was a Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance, and he was nominated for a Golden Globe, Screen Actors Guild, and Satellite Award, which I'm sure back then probably didn't mean much, but other films of his that I know that I watched a lot as a kid. I know there was Fern Gully, which I know a lot of people look back on, and they are right about the fact that it's one of those films that is way too overly preachy with its environmental message about the rainforest.
Yeah, and it's not one of his better performances.
No, not really.
I'm not sure if it was him or what, but it kind of looked like he was trying too hard to be himself.
Like he was,
like he was like trying too hard to be like this stereotypical thing that we all have of him.
Yeah. Well, I think it was also the fact too, because I mean that Fern Gully movie, it was not Disney, and they were clearly trying to be Disney.
Yeah.
And I think as part of that, because they figured, oh, well, we got Robin Williams, let's just have him redo some of his genie stuff that he did with Aladdin that was so brilliant and funny.
Yeah, but the genie thing, there was actual general heart to that.
Yeah. With the
baddie character, there was none of that.
Yeah. I think the only interesting thing about that film was the villain Hexus.
Yeah.
And that was mostly because of the fact that he was played by Tim Curry. Was what was able to keep him interesting. There was also his Mrs. Doubtfire film, which is still a good movie.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I watched a video trailer that somebody edited on YouTube where they make it look like a horror movie. And it works. It does work.
I could have.
I have the only other movie of his I watched again recently was his film The Birdcage because it's now on Netflix Instant. Have you seen that one?
Is that the one where he's playing a gay guy?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Then I have seen that one.
Yeah. He's a gay man who runs. I forget. I know it's kind of a drag performance show. I've
seen that one and another one to where he's playing kind of the man in a gay couple thing that had adopted this kid, and kid was getting married and.
That's the same movie. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. there's a great line in there where, because part of the plot is that his son is getting married, but the woman's parents are very right wing.
Mm-hmm.
And the parents want to meet the parents of the son, before they agree to the wedding, and the son is so nervous that he asks his father, which is a terrible thing to do, when you really think about it, in that basically he wants his father to pretend not to be who he is, and that he would have to.
And I want you to pretend like you're not gay.
Well, and it's not just that. Like he has to remodel his entire home. Has to he has to send his lover away, and everything else. And there's this great line that Robin has, like just before he decides, all right, fine, I'll do this for you. Where he says to him, yes, I wear foundation. Yes, I live with a man. Yes, I'm a middle-aged fag. But it took me 20 years to get to this point, and I'm not going to allow some idiot senator to destroy everything that I've done. Fuck the senator. I don't give a damn what he thinks. And it's like, yes. God, I love that line.
Yeah, because it's... Yeah, well, I kind of hate that. That kind of harkens back to, like, the whole video game thing, and comics and video games and TV are going to ruin our nation's youth.
Yeah. Well, and it's also the fact, too, of, like, I shouldn't have to lie about who I am now. I mean, I did that for my entire life, because I was, terrified, about what would happen to me, if I, ever did come out, or anything like that. Now I'm at a state in my life where I'm happy and I'm surrounded by people that I love. Like, why should I have to lie about who I am? Especially to some dickhead who, doesn't like me, because of who I am.
Hey, you're gay and I don't like that.
Well, then you can just fuck off.
I'm going to beat the shit out of you because you're gay, and I'm secretly gay, but I don't want to admit it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. 90% of every gay basher out there.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's pretty much right up there with.
They have feelings. They have the same feelings, but they don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
It stirs them.
Yeah. Well, and it's that old saying of "He who doth protest too much."
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
And it always, comes out in some ridiculous scandal. Like, you remember the whole Larry Craig thing?
Oh, yeah.
One of the hardest fighters against, gay marriage and blah, blah, blah. And he was caught in a gay sex scandal where he was trying to solicit sex from a public bathroom, and he got busted, and he tried to claim, like, I have a very wide stance. That's why my foot was touching yours in the bathroom stalls. Like, dude, just own up to it. Okay,
dude,
you're just embarrassing yourself.
You're busted. Like,
and what was,
you're busted. Own up to it.
I mean, what was
hypocritical asshole.
I mean, what was so funny and so stupid about that whole thing, and not to mention horribly embarrassing, I mean, especially for his family, was that he was dragging them, in front of the cameras,
like, look, I'm not gay, I have a family and everything.
And the whole time they're rolling their eyes going, oh my fucking God, this is ridiculous.
Like, Dad, just fucking admit it already.
Yeah, it's just so sad and pathetic that we're still at this state in our, in our culture.
Oh, yeah. And sadly, that's probably not going to go away.
No, not... Well, I mean, there are
not in our lifetime. I mean, we're going to make tons of steps forward, but there's always going to be that one guy. Being gay is wrong.
Yeah. But to get back on subject, what was the last movie of his that you probably saw that you liked?
The only one that pops into my head, and it's probably not the last one I saw, is 1 Hour Photo.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is a surprisingly good psychopath.
Yeah. I understand he does the same thing in his film Insomnia, which I've only seen parts of. I'm
not entirely sure if I've seen that one. I may have seen parts of it.
Yeah. It's mainly it's about Al Pacino, and he's this detective who was being investigated, and then they get called up to a murder case up in Alaska, and it's during that time when the sun is always up. And so because of that, he's not able to really get any sleep. And so his mind kind of starts coming and going, because he's so sleep deprived, and at the same time he's trying to solve this murder investigation, which Robin Williams' character is the prime suspect of. So. Yeah, just another very creepy and interesting film. The last film of his I saw in the theater was the Night at the Museum film, the first one.
Oh, where he was playing, what was it, Teddy Roosevelt?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was a good movie. It was certainly fun and enjoyable. I liked it up until the villains had to be revealed, and it just felt so weak and stupid, and I just really didn't like that part. I didn't see the sequel. I understand that there is going to be a third, which
of course, because Hollywood has no ideas anymore.
Yeah. And actually, as I understand it, he has 4 other movies that are still supposed to be coming out soon.
So it's going to be kind of like the Chris Farley thing all over again.
Yeah, well, the Chris Farley thing, or even the Tupac thing, as I understand it, because after Tupac was murdered, he had, I guess, an album or two that came out like a couple of years after his death.
Yeah.
Which was
things that he had pre-recorded, and they just, yeah.
Yeah. I've never really listened to a lot of Tupac. It was interesting because one day, this is while I was still in high school, and this was, I think, some odd weeks, or maybe even some odd days after Tupac's murder, where our drama teacher, Mr. Shattuck, who was a really, really, cool and great guy.
I like Mr.
Yeah.
I had him when I was doing the stagecraft thing.
Oh, cool. Well, he wanted to quote something for us real quick, like just before we started class, and it was this brilliant little short poem about Marilyn Monroe. I forget the exact words of it, but it was so subtle and simple and very sweet and very beautiful. And at the end of it, he said, "Now, who do you think wrote that?" And we said, "No, I don't know." He said, "Those words were written by a rapper by the name of Tupac." And I just wanted to share with you, that though, some people's opinion on something may be considered harsh or crude or anything like that, but something beautiful, can come out of it.
Yeah.
And it was just, oh, wow.
It doesn't mean that he's not an artist and he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've never really listened to his stuff. I would like to, because I have heard a lot of people say he was, quite frankly, probably one of the best rap artists out there, certainly at the time.
He was the only gangster rap artist that I actually liked.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I am not a fan of gangster rap at all, but I actually liked his.
So you've actually listened to some of his stuff?
Yes.
Interesting.
I have.
I never knew that about you.
Well, there you go.
All right.
I got introduced to it in high school, and his I actually liked because his actually told a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, to it, and it wasn't about like all kill all cops and bang bang bang. When it's like no, he actually talked about the negative side of doing that.
Yeah. Well, and I mean a good rap artist is able to actually give you something of interest as opposed to like what most modern quote unquote rappers do nowadays is just the same thing where they brag about you should see like all the money I get, like all the money I make, or you should see like all the bitches and pussy that I get on a daily basis.
Yeah.
A real rapper, he will tell you a story about I met this woman, I thought that I loved her, and I thought that she loved me too. It turned out that she didn't. She used me, and or maybe there's a twist on that. Or maybe even just a more interesting story with some substance.
Usually they end up telling like a story of stuff that had happened in their past.
Yeah.
Some actual real shit that happened to somebody.
Yeah. Or they're just able to talk about something of controversy, and give their opinion on it. Like the political world or or just various things, like how they feel about censorship or how they feel about, these rappers who get, compared to them, or try to act like them. And they know for a fact, like, no, these people aren't real. These people are fakes. They're phonies, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and when Eminem first came out, that's what people thought about him because, it was kind of reverse racism because he was white.
Well, and bear in mind, I mean, we already had a few other white rappers who turned out to not be real at all. And so naturally there was going to be that stigma attached to it.
Yeah, so he actually had to actually overcome that a little bit.
And he did that a lot by being very, very hardcore and just being like, no, you know what? Fuck you. I am who I am. And if you got a problem with that, you can suck my fucking dick, was basically
like, you don't like
what
it?
he said to that.
Go fuck yourself.
And he proved that, by, being, well, and it wasn't just that he proved it by being hard. It was that he proved it by that he had incredible rhyming and rap skill, that he was able to string together such amazing words with great wordplay and be able to rhyme it all and then be able to deliver it in such a fast and amazing way and then still keep up with the beat.
Yeah.
And it was just very impressive. It's just like, wow, this guy has actual real skill.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily...
And we've kind of gotten off the Robin Williams thing now.
No, that's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, but it's a good conversation, though.
Yeah. I would say for the most part, I mean, to be a good rapper, it's not about, like, oh, yeah, man, I'm totally hard, and I carry guns, and I, make a lot of money. No, that's not what makes a good rapper, is that...
yeah, and that's not hard. Hard is actually being out there on the street getting your ass kicked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what really makes a good rapper is that you just... you really have to know what you're doing. You have to have confidence. You have to have flow, and you have to have skill.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
why I would not be a good rapper.
Well,
I have
hell,
none of that shit.
Well, hell, I mean, me either.
Most of us don't have that stuff.
No.
There's a lot of people that like to pretend that they do.
Oh yeah. I mean, I could string together a rap if you gave me enough time. It would not be at all improvised, and that's what's especially impressive about some rap artists is that some of them are so good that they could just string together a rap just like right on the spot. And if it's really good, not only does it rhyme, but it makes sense, and it has some bearing about about what's going on, or about what they're doing. Right then and there, like that's what's always so interesting about some of those rap battles that you hear about sometimes, and where they're just on stage and they're just improvising on the spot. Mm-hmm. That's what's especially impressive. But to get back to our main topic. If I could just say one thing, I mean, Robin Williams, he had an incredible career. He was obviously very brilliant and very smart and very funny. And all I can say is that obviously he will be missed.
Oh, yeah. He will definitely be missed.
Yeah. All right.
He was one of the great ones.
Yes, he was. He was definitely. I mean, he had a long, outstanding career. Very long.
Yeah.
I will
both
admit,
in television as a stand-up comedian, movie career.
Oh yeah. I will admit, towards the aughts, his film career started to waver a little bit. Mostly just in terms of like a lot of the comedy films that he did. Like, just, I mean, just a lot of them were very watered down and just not very funny.
Yeah.
It was pretty typical. But I'm not gonna.
That may have had something to do with the director or producer.
Probably.
Or he may have just not been feeling it, or.
I'm not gonna blame him, because he did the best that he could with what he had.
Oh yeah. Even when he did Popeye, he did the best that he could.
Yeah.
And that movie bombed.
Oh yeah.
That was like his first movie too.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just gonna say, just for the record, he had a great career, and just about everything that I saw him in, he was always, very entertaining. Even when he was being dramatic, he did show that, hey, I'm not just a comedian.
Yeah, I can actually act.
All right. And with that, how about we take a brief little break, and we will be right back.
Okie dokie.
All right, everybody, and welcome back to the Other People podcast. We're gonna talk briefly about some news. I got a little bit of video game and a little bit of movie news. Which would you like to go with first?
Hey, let's go with video games.
All right. Well, this is the only interesting thing I could find. This is kind of old news, and this comes out from Rage Select. It says that Tomb Raider sequel, Rise of the Tomb Raider, will be an Xbox One exclusive.
Okay.
Yeah. First off,
kind of interesting. Don't care much for the title.
Yeah. I know.
It sounds kind of hokey, but
Well, yeah. Well, that's only because of the fact that for the past 10 years now, as I've been noticing it, every other movie title and some video game titles have been using the word rise, as part of their title, and it's just become overused and cliche.
Yeah.
At this point, to a point where it just sounds stupid. I mean, it just does.
Yeah.
And we already kind of had a Rise of the Tomb Raider with the Tomb Raider reboot that we had a couple of years ago, which I understand.
Even though they just called it Tomb Raider, but
yeah. And it's a game I still haven't played yet, and I want to. I had it on my PlayStation 4, but I got rid of my PlayStation Plus subscription, mostly because, it does come with the benefit of every once in a while they will put all of their full titles out there for free if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, which is really nice. But if you don't have a lot of hard drive space, it's going to eat it up really fast. So it's like, well, poop. And half these games I downloaded, I'm not even playing and haven't played. And I've had them on there for months. So, yeah, let's just get rid of this.
You should play it. At least rent it somewhere.
Yeah, I do.
Well, you like the Drake Fortune games. It plays a lot like that.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, that is something that I understand about it too. That it does play a lot like the Uncharted series. I would be interested to play it. And if I do, I'll probably do a Let's Play on it. Definitely.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's an Xbox One exclusive, I don't know if later on afterwards, if it would come out for the other console, for PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 3 or whichever.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a story I heard about a while ago where GameSpot or GameStop or whatever the name of the video game store is that they're trying to make exclusive deals, I believe, with game developers or with. I think they're trying to do it with developers, where they're trying to get them to make more exclusive content that only comes from GameStop.
Yeah. As a developer, I think I would tell GameStop to go screw themselves.
Well,
I don't like exclusive things that just comes from,
that only comes from one place.
But you can only get it at our store.
Yeah.
Which means the developer wanted to put it in the game, but you boiled them into putting it to where we have to go get it at your store in order to get this exclusive.
Yeah. Yeah, that is just incredibly stupid. And a lot of the time, it's I understand
it's usually something that's not worth much.
There is a good majority of stuff that they include as exclusives that aren't really that interesting or something I could give a rat's ass about. Other times it's something that actually sounds like really, really, really cool, but it's often the fact of like, I don't want to do that, because then that would mean like, oh, I would probably have to have had a reservation on it, or like pre-ordered it, or something like that from GameStop. And I don't.
Or like a lot of them, it's like a digital thing to where you have to go online.
Yeah.
And put in like a code in order to unlock the thing.
Yeah, and I stopped doing that shit a long time ago, because a lot of the time it just wasn't worth it, and it was just really kind of stupid.
Yeah, the Diablo 3 game that I got for the Xbox 360 had an exclusive helm that gave you an experience bonus. but you had to put in a code for it. And quite frankly, there's a ton of in-game things without the exclusive code that does the same fucking thing.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't played Diablo 3, mostly because when I saw it, I felt like it doesn't look like Diablo, and I just didn't have any interest in it.
Eh.
And it was also the fact too that when it first came out, there was just a lot of really bad talk, mostly because of you have to be online to play the single player. It's like, fuck you, I'm not doing that. Screw you.
Yeah. Which they
did later change.
Blizzard took for heart, and when they went to the console, they fixed that.
Yeah.
And Brandon even brought up some balancing issues, which they also later fixed when they put it into the consoles.
Yeah.
Where some bosses were really easy to beat and others were practically impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand there were a lot of problems with Diablo 3, but the biggest one...
did later fix.
Yeah, but good God, online for single player? Go fuck yourself. That's the dumbest goddamn thing I've heard. And of course, everybody on day one, when they tried to play it, couldn't play the fucking game.
Yeah, because they overloaded the server.
Which just goes to show, like, Blizzard, don't do online for something that doesn't need to be online. That's fucking retarded. It's a single-player game. It's just so stupid.
That does have a huge multiplayer thing on their BattleNet where people teamed up with things. That's fine. That's what the online's there for. But if you're doing it single player and having it online, you're going to run into a lot of problems.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just so stupid, and I just didn't have any interest in it. I mean, I had heard about it for a long time, and I remember seeing screen captures of it saying like, this doesn't look like Diablo, but whatever. All right, so moving on, we're gonna head over to a little bit of movie news that I have over here. There's going to be a Mission Impossible 5, and they're going to bring back Ving Rhames, which is the only title line for it. There might be a Rambo 5 that does Sylvester Stallone.
There could be a Rambo 5, seeing as how they ended the Rambo 4, but okay.
I heard because
what, he like going to defend his family's ranch from like cattle rustlers? I mean,
I don't know. Like maybe it'll be a flashback, or oh god, I just had the horrifying idea of like, what if they do a remake of Rambo: First Blood or something like that?
I have an even worse one. Prequel.
Yeah. It could happen.
Him in the Vietnam War.
Yeah, it could happen. Well, hell, I mean, what would be so bad about a remake of the original Rambo movie is that they just have him going around killing everybody, which was not the point of First Blood.
Yeah, he actually didn't kill anybody. Well, that one guy, he didn't really kill him.
Well,
the guy just kind of was stupid and fell off the damn helicopter.
Yeah. Well, he did. Well, yeah.
Well, he did throw the rock at him, but it was kind of more like a distraction thing.
Yeah. Well, and it was purely out of it
was purely out of self-defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy was a scumbag.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there's some other stuff on here. Nothing really of too much interest. We saw the trailer for the Dumb and Dumber sequel. I don't know. I mean, I remember I liked Dumb and Dumber when I first saw it. When I watched it again a while ago, not sure I like it as much now. I mean, there are still some scenes that can make me laugh.
Yeah.
It's the dumb humor. Like the scene with I forget which one is which. I think it's Lloyd who's playing the blonde. I forget the actor's name. But the scene where where Jim Carrey slips him some diarrhea stuff, and he just gets the runs, and he's sitting on the toilet, and he just has his legs up, and you just hear for maybe a solid minute.
Mhm.
And and that can still make me laugh.
Yeah, but it is kind of lowbrow humor.
Oh yeah, it's very lowbrow. This one I'm not sure. There's a plot where Lloyd, I guess, finds out that he has an estranged daughter, and so they go out to go find her.
Mhm.
And Jim Carrey's character apparently develops a crush on her, which is especially creepy because
Yeah.
best friend's daughter, and well, because it's like at this point when he finds this letter about his estranged daughter, she's like in her 20s.
Mhm.
So I mean, at least
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that she's underage or anything like that, but it's also the fact that, dude, that's your best friend's
It's like
daughter.
your best friend's daughter. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of creepy.
Yeah. And then where was this news? Oh, it was from Cinema Blend. I just want to make sure that I mention where I'm getting these articles from. Let's see, what else was there? Oh yeah, I was gonna say earlier. I was on Brad's website today as well. The Cinema Snob. They checked out the third Expendables film.
Mhm.
All right. And otherwise they said normally. Well. He said, normally I would defend, something like this and say, yeah. I mean, I thought it was okay, because he liked all of the other Expendables films. This one he couldn't. He pretty much said, like, there were things about it that I liked, but there was just so many problems with this film that I can't recommend it. And I really did like the first Expendables film. I really did.
Yeah, I know you didn't like the second one, but
yeah, and I wouldn't know how to feel about the third one. I mean, I saw the teaser trailer for it. And there is a huge cast. I mean, especially with the fact.
Yeah, I think
like,
that's kind of the problem that they're going to start running into, is that they're going to start having too huge of a cast.
Yeah. And well, what really struck me, especially about the teaser trailer for it, was that Mel Gibson is going to be in this.
Yeah, as the villain.
Yeah, which is interesting. I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe I'll rent it. I don't know.
I think I'll probably wait until it's actually out on cable and then watch it.
Mhm.
Because I'm starting to kind of have some of the same thing, because I keep seeing him. It's like, okay, now there's Wesley Snipes kicking butt there. Harrison Ford's flying a helicopter. What the?
Yeah. Antonio Banderas is also in it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's supposed to be good in it.
Yeah.
I also heard that they said that Mel Gibson is great in it as the villain. That he's obviously just having a crap ton of fun doing it.
Well, yeah, I like Mel Gibson as an actor. Don't like him much as a human being, especially after the whole anti-Semite thing came out. But I can still like him as an actor.
Yeah.
And would see his stuff.
What was the last?
Doesn't mean I'm going to like him as a human being.
What was maybe the last movie of his that you think that you saw or watched?
Oh shit!
Because I think the last movie of his that we probably ever saw in the theater was the fourth Lethal Weapon movie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's an
last
okay
one that I
movie.
probably watched of his would either have to be We Were Soldiers or the one where there was where they were getting invaded by aliens, but I can't remember the name of it.
Signs.
Yeah, Signs. Thank you.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Signs all of it. just what I've seen and what I've heard of it. And of course, I watched a Nostalgia Critics review on it, which was fucking hilarious. I mean, aliens who are able to interstellar travel from galaxy to galaxy have mastered this ability, but they don't know how a wooden door works.
Yeah.
Why
can't I open this door?
And
it confounds me.
And their greatest weakness, this one thing that will utterly destroy them, water. They land on a planet that is 90% water.
90% water. Yeah.
Especially in a part of the country that is like, that's a big proponent. It's water.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just so.
Yeah,
dumb.
The plot wasn't very good.
No. And I could see it working if they had changed it a little bit. Like maybe the aliens weren't trying to conquer us or anything like that. Maybe they were trying to help us, and there was some sort of a communication problem. You know?
Like, hey, we're gonna help you. Things they're trying to conquer us. Ah, crap.
You know, like I could actually see that working, you know, as an interesting, you know, dramatic film, but that's not what they went with at all. Instead, they're trying to conquer.
Yeah, no, even there at the end, they kind of even had a bit of a religious element to it.
Yeah. Oh, dear God. And I understand that part especially, is that God killed your wife to give you this message that will not be relayed for another several years, and it's going to make you lose your faith. And fuck you, movie. Fuck you. That is just so goddamn stupid. I'm gonna kill your wife to let you know about something that won't happen for another several years. But hey, you don't have the woman that you love, or the woman who, you know, blah 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 blah. Like,
yeah.
fuck you, movie.
The Catholics kind of think God's kind of a jerk.
Yeah. All right, other movie news. This one I heard about a while ago. Texas Chainsaw Massacre Origins film Leatherface gets a writer. So there's going to be another Texas Chainsaw Massacre prequel film.
Didn't they already do a prequel and then a prequel to the prequel?
It wasn't a prequel to a prequel. It was a sequel to the prequel.
Oh. Okay.
No. Actually, what it was there was a remake, and then there was a prequel to the remake. Was what it was.
Yeah.
Because they wanted. What's the name of the actor who was the drill sergeant in Full Metal Jacket? R. Lee Ermey. That's right.
Yeah.
Because he was like the biggest role that they had in the remake, and so they wanted him back. But because they killed him at the end of the remake, they're like, well, we could do a prequel, and then that way we could have him back in it. And it's just meant to explain like everything that kind of leads up to the remake. It's like, that was stupid. And I didn't even care for the remake. I hated the remake. It's just so dumb. Everybody's angry. We're all so angry. And we're going to kill you because we're angry.
And that's not what the original film was about anyway.
No, they were crazy. They were happy crazy. But they killed people because they wanted to eat them too.
Yeah, they were crazy cannibals.
Yeah, I mean that was really all there was to it.
That was the whole movie right there. It's just these are crazy cannibals. They're going to kill you, and they're going to eat you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just that simple.
Simplicity.
Yeah. Next up is this is a weird one. Power Rangers movie reboot gets July 2016 release date.
They're doing. Oh, dear God.
And these stories come from ScreenRant.com. How many other Power Rangers movies were there? I mean, I know there was the first one, and then there was Turbo. Were there only two, or was there a third?
I think there was only two.
I mean, I had a falling out with Power Rangers. I think you did about the same time as I did.
Yeah, when they fought the lipstick monster.
Yeah, well, they fought a stick of lipstick and a purse. Which,
yeah.
But then again, I mean, you could go back to any other older episode of Power Rangers, and God, it was silly. Hell, I mean, they fought a clown in the first season.
Yeah.
Who turned people into paper cutouts. That was its power.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus. But yeah, well, yeah. I mean, for the time, for kids, it was cool. And we were into it. It was vaguely racist at the time too. The fact that the Black Ranger was also a black kid.
Yeah.
And the Yellow
Ranger was an Asian kid.
And the other girl Ranger was the Pink Ranger.
Yeah.
And if I remember,
it was just slightly sexist and racist at the same time.
Well, and it probably wasn't meaning to. It just kind of turned out that way.
Yeah, it just kind of was.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, ooh, we didn't think that through.
Yeah. It's a lot like how. It's a lot like how your grandmother accidentally says something like vaguely racist. It's not that she's racist, it's just that she just doesn't know any better.
She grew up in a different time period where that's what they were called.
Yeah, which is like, oh, no, please don't ever say that again. I don't,
grandmother, it's like, what?
What?
We don't call them that now anymore.
And please never say that again. Like,
yeah, please don't say that again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because there's nothing worse, than this innocent image of your grandmother, who's, standing over a stove, making you breakfast, randomly saying something overly racist. Grandma, Jesus! What the hell? What?
Like what? It's like,
what, they don't like to be called that anymore? Like, they never like to be called that. Like, okay. There was this old sketch on Saturday Night Live with, what's her name? But yeah, there was this sketch where this teen girl, she's in the hospital. I think she was getting her tonsils out, and one of her students, a black student, played by damn it, I'm forgetting all the old cast members' names. But this was back during the beginnings of Saturday Night Live, back when they were still edgy and and funny, and the girl's mother walks in, and she just says, "Oh dear, are you going to introduce me to your nice Negro friend?"
And just,
it's just, oh wow, God, I can't believe she just said that. And they got away with it, because it was, hey, we're live.
There's this, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, let me ask you something. How do you feel about the Batman versus Superman movie?
I'm kind of on the fence about it, but I want to give it a fair chance.
Yeah. They have a subtitle for it now, too.
Okay.
It's called Dawn of Justice. Yeah.
So basically it's going to be step one in a Justice League movie that...
Well, pretty much.
They've been teasing for a while now.
For several years.
Yeah, and it's probably not going to...
It's probably not going to happen. I mean, I'm just going to say it right now. It's probably not going to happen. Because the only success they're having in the movies
is
with Batman and
Superman and Batman.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that's the only success that DC has had with their characters. Those are the only two.
Yeah.
I mean, Green Lantern.
Oh, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't that movie tank?
I don't know if it tanked. I know it didn't do very well, and it was, I believe it was considered a disappointment. And
Yeah.
from everything I've seen from it, it looks like Ryan Reynolds is just playing Ryan Reynolds. He's just being himself, and I'm so sick and tired of that. I mean, I really
Yeah.
am.
I haven't seen it yet, and
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything good about it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and there's also the fact too that in this movie that Wonder Woman is going to be in it, but it's obviously going to be like such a small part for her. So they're
It's
basically
just like,
just
hi, I'm Wonder Woman. Bye.
Yeah, it's like
it's going to be kind of like drag me off stage thing.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's so and from what I understand,
and speaking of which, whatever happened to the Wonder Woman movie that they were going to make?
I don't know. I
mean, are they ever going to do that?
Probably not at this point. I mean, this is obviously what they're doing to compensate for that. It's like, oh, well, we can't give Wonder Woman a movie because people aren't ready for a superhero that's a woman. Like, really? It's like 2014. We're ready.
It's like,
I mean, get yourself a good director. You get yourself some good writers. You get yourself some good actresses and actors. I'm pretty sure you could put out probably not only a good Wonder Woman movie, an incredible Wonder Woman movie.
Oh, yeah.
You could do it.
I could probably even think of a couple of actresses that would be perfect for it.
Yeah, they're just too chicken shit is the problem.
Oh, they're just, it's like, well, the conservatives don't want to have a woman hero. It's just like, I guarantee even the conservatives would want to see a Wonder Woman movie. I mean...
I don't think it's that. I think it's... They probably just don't trust their material. I mean, with the way that the Green Lantern was received and some of their other DC-related movies, but...
Oh, yeah, and then, like, the Wonder Woman TV show that didn't even
survive
the
TV. Pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was terrible. That was...
Yeah.
It completely portrayed the character and decided, no, you know what? Let's make her a corporate bitch that nobody likes. And it's just...
Never mind, like, the whole Amazon from Femascara thing that's into feminism and fighting for women's rights.
It's just... Well, the whole fighting for women's rights thing, I guess they get confused with, oh, she's a feminazi, so she hates men. Like, no, she doesn't hate men. At least in my opinion, I don't think that she hates men. I mean, she might at first consider them to not be an equal until, she actually meets these other guys, like Batman and Superman, and like, oh, okay, well then men are okay. Men are good.
Yeah, it's not so much that she hates men, just kind of has general mistrust of them.
Yeah.
Because, DC, their animated stuff, and I got like an animated movie of hers.
Oh, yeah?
That is just called Wonder Woman. And it starts off with her just having a general mistrust of men.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, that's how she was raised, was that all the evils in the world is because of men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, man, like, Steve Trevor, the astronaut, the Air Force pilot, crash lands on there. She gets introduced to men, and, she's got to take him back home.
Right.
And so that whole thing happens. And there's actually a great line in the movie to where she's been tearing him down one side and up the other. And finally, after he saves her life, she tries to tear him down again for saving her life. And he just goes, you know what? I'm getting tired of this. I know what you think of me. I know what you think of men. We're not all like that. I saved your life because I generally care about you.
Yeah.
Not because I want to get into your pants.
I mean, I kind of do, to be honest.
He's like, I do, but that's not why I saved your life.
Yeah. It's like, come on, dude. Let's be honest. You knew you totally want to hit that, bro. All right. Oh God. Okay. I feel absolutely terrible for saying that now, but whatever. It was a good joke.
And true. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, it is Wonder Woman. I mean, come on. Come on. One of the strongest women in the world.
With that outfit on. I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah. Jesus. And one other quick thing I'm going to talk about. This isn't on any of the news forums or anything like that, but and I think I mentioned this to you before. The new Ninja Turtle movie. I might rent it when it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray, and I'll probably do a vlog on it.
Yeah, they can say all the good things about it, and like that they want to. I'm still wary of it just because Michael Bay's name is attached to it.
Well. I've heard differing opinions. Video Game's Awesome. They said that they loved it. Brad Jones said that he thought that it was okay. Bennett the Sage hated it. One constant thing that I understand about it is that the Turtles are side characters in their own damn movie.
Yeah, that's
really?
Yeah, that alone just like, okay, yeah, you did that to the Transformers. I'm not going to sit there and let you do that to the Turtles, man.
Yeah. Well,
they're not side characters.
You should never be a side character in your own damn movie. That'd be like an Avengers movie where it's more about this one kid who's not on the Avengers, who's not a superhero, and it's more about him and the Avengers.
Yeah, it's more about him watching what's going on.
Yeah. That's what it kind of feels like when you go into a movie like Transformers or something like the Ninja Turtles, and the main title of the movie is the side plot, and the movie's really all about this kid. I mean, he's not a superhero. Yeah. He doesn't have any superpowers or anything like that.
He's
it's
just
all about
kind of
him.
there. In fact, he's kind of more in the way than anything else.
Yeah, it's just I can understand for a particular film or universe, you do need that cipher, to be there, to explain these sort of things. I can understand that, but at the same time, they have to be involved in the action, and
they have to be able to do stuff. They're not just there. They're not just in the fucking way.
Yeah. Well, all right, everybody. That was. This has been another episode of The Other People. I hope that you guys have enjoyed. If you did, please press the like or subscribe button. We try to do these episodes every 2 weeks, and I try to upload these on Mondays. So if you did enjoy, please let us know what you think in the comment section. Once again, I would just like to say that I hope that Robin Williams' family and kids are able to get through this. And I'm sure that they will to some extent. I mean, it's never easy losing somebody that you love.
No, it's definitely not. And though that loss never goes away, you do slowly get used to it over the years.
Yeah. And that, again, God, I'm getting all sputtery here. It's never easy. I mean, it really isn't.
Yeah.
All right, well, this is a bit of a downer ending. So,
yes, it is.
All right, everybody. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed, and we will see you guys next time. I hope that you've enjoyed. I will, and I am continuing to work on what kind of will be my video on Metroid Other M. I'm not sure how much of a review it will be, because I actually asked Jeff from Rage Select, like, how much of a game should you play if you plan to do a review on it, but more especially if it's a game that you are not
enjoying. I mean, should you play it to full completion? And his answer was, if you plan to do a review of it, you really should play the whole thing. I mean, more especially if there is also a story to it, and there's, supposed to be plot points, and a lot of other things. But oh man, I'm not enjoying this game at all. As I've already stated many, many, many times, I'm not enjoying this game at all. But I'm gonna try to play at least another few hours of it at least. The video that I do for it may not be a review, but it will be a video on great length talking about Metroid Other M.
Mostly him just screaming.
I'm going to try to lay low on the screaming, but we will just see how it goes. So until then, I hope that you guys enjoyed, and we will see you guys next time for another episode of The Other People. Good night.
And drive safe or whatever.
Yes. Don't drink and drive.
Yes.